guess it's time I get to take an insurance policy. But the question is, where do I get to buy from? Should I buy from the sales agents? I always get to see what in and out of my office. Will they take time to explain things to me so I don't have issues during claims? Or I should walk to the insurance company myself. Maybe there may be more competent staff there. But come to think of it, whenever I go to the bank, I get to see an insurance stand there. Should I rather go there and buy my insurances from? Because that's where I have my accounts, both savings and current accounts. Or I hear there are some brokers in the system as well. Should I consider them? Maybe during claims, I can just sit in the comfort of my office and they'll work on everything for me. Keep watching as we get to discuss on this episode where to take your insurance policies from, which channel to trust. Keep watching. Hey there, you're welcome to my channel Insurance Today. This is your first time meeting me here. Don't forget to subscribe, get to like this video, and drop me some questions, comments, or observations in my comment section below there. Now, various insurance companies or a given insurance company may have various channels of distribution. Channels of distribution simply means various means by which its products may be sold. Now, some may be through sales reps, that is, or sales agents, who may be working in and out of your office day in and day out. We may have also another channel called assurance. Right? So when you go to your various banks are not insurance companies. You may see an insurance stand there. Mind you, those policies you see there are underwritten by an insurance company. So when there is time for claim, you buy a policy from a bank assurance or that stand you see there at the bank, and there is time for claim, you don't go to the bank, but rather they would direct you to the insurance company. That's what did the underwriting or that sells those policies there, right? Apart from that, brokers are various intermediaries that sells policies for various insurance firms. So all these are channels of what? Distribution. You may choose to buy from any of this, but rather paying attention to the following whenever you are getting to buy from any of these channels. Let's get to start with sales agents. Sales agents are personnel who have been trained, run through series of trainings and preparations on a given company's products before they are brought out there to communicate or sell their products to you. So whenever they are there, they just represent the given insurance company that you are buying from. So what are the things you get to do? Ensure this salesperson can explain all the given terms and conditions on the policy. Make some time for this person, because this policy you are rolling on may go for the next 10 years, may go for the next 7 years. Sometimes they can even go to your pension. So can we really take time and go through the terms and conditions? Buying a policy from a salesperson who walked into your office should not be a quick one. No. You should not buy because your colleague just jumped on one door. Sit down. Let me bring my needs out. Can we have this policy tailored to my needs? Let's go through the terms and conditions very well. Secondly, I would like to know, is it a risk or an endowment policy you are selling for me? The sales agent should be in the best position to educate you on this so far as life insurance is concerned. We would like to also know, what are the terms on the policy? Is this policy going for 7 years? Is this whole policy going for 10 years? What are the various terms on this particular policy? Am I having a refund of my risk premium if it's a risk policy and the unforeseen or the stated event doesn't happen? Let's find out what are the various terms on this particular package. We'd like to also find out what are the given insurance covers. For example, endowment packages like education, investment policies. What are the insurance bit of it, and when does it apply? Touch wood, if the main life I'm not around, How does my beneficiaries or next of kin make their claims? Put these questions across and ensure these questions are what answered. We'd like to also find out what are the various claim processes, and note, so far as they are claims, they can be repudiations. What instances can my claims be repudiated? Having a fair knowledge of this makes you know what you are subscribing or buying, and it's very important. We might also know in terms of default, in terms of lapses, in terms of cancellation, what are the terms goes with it. Whenever I'm canceling, do I get something back? When I default for about a year, maybe not because it's an intention, maybe I traveled out, maybe I changed my bank and I didn't inform the giving insurance because of my busy schedule. How does things go? Do I start the waiting period all over again if it's a risk policy? What happens? It is an endowment policy when I default. When there are various lapses, what are the lapse rules that happens with this? If I'm canceling at this point, what happens? Can we ask these questions before we jump whenever we are dealing with a sales agent? He's sitting right before you. So please ensure you ask these. I've given about 5-6 points. Pay attention and ask these questions. Our Americans who are going to sign on so you can very good. But the second place that may come to mind where we like to buy our policies from is the given insurance company itself. Now, sometimes we may have the notion that I did not know these sales agents, so no, I'm comfortable when I walk to the insurance company myself to buy. You may go to the insurance company, and yes, you may be sold to still by an insurance agent, right? They may not be different from the people walking down to you to sell. They are all insurance agents, sales reps of the given company. So my point I discuss with you, ensure you also pay attention. Don't take it for granted that I'm at the insurance company so I can overlook certain things. I know I'll be treated right. No. Still ensure you find out whether the type of product you are buying, the terms on it, the rules, the various claims processes. Take time. If you are too busy, kindly reschedule for me. Don't be in a rush at all, because when you are paying for the next 8 years, you may be paying for the next 15 years. What is the big deal if I have to wait till a week before I sign up? I shouldn't be rushed. So any sales agent who is rushing you just to get you on a policy, if it's well explained and it goes down with you, that is fine. And you feel, no, I really understand this policy and I'm paid for it. I'm ready for it. So I'm ready to sign on board. That is good. But whereby I feel like I'm too pressured, I've not really even gotten the terms well. Some questions I'm asking, I've not really gotten the explanation well. I'm not too sure. Kindly hold on, reschedule the appointment. If you can have some of the documents on the internet, kindly go there. If you have other learned or professional people you can consult on the given product you are buying, kindly consult so that we are sure of what we are buying. This will limit uncertainties, cancellations, and ensure your claims are paid because you really understood what you are buying. Right? I hope you can be there. Now let's move to the child bond, where we are going to look at the various parts that we see. As I said in my introduction, banks are not insurance companies. However, they may have insurance product they are selling, which are underwritten by a given insurance company. Right? So when you walk into your bank and maybe the customer service personnel introduces a given insurance product to you, that hey, we have an education policy for your child. You just have to sign here and commit maybe a 300 or a 400 Ghana cedis to it every single month. This is just some small savings. Please don't let the conversation get to end there. Find out, what policy are you selling for me? How many years will this education policy go for? Compare it to the number of years your ward has to spend in school. Find out how does the waiver works. Today, even if the daylight I'm not there, how does the waiver work? Right? To learn to find out with regards to it. When can I start making my partial withdrawals, even if I'm extra to pay towards school fees? We would like to know what happens when I default for a while. I stop paying. For it to know when I want to make claims, what are the processes I go through? Kindly ask these questions. So we want to know the type of policy, the terms on the policy, giving insurance covers, claims or repudiation processes, as well as defaults, lapse, and cancellation issues. Don't sign pick one because you feel it's my bankers and they are holding on to my cash, or that is where I have my most valuable asset. That is my finances. So I can really just sign something. You should be back to know. It doesn't end there. Sit down. If you are too busy and in a hurry, kindly waste it out. I'm too busy for today. Can I meet you the following week or 3 days later or a given day in my office, or can I come around for us to discuss? Make time for such. Don't just sign on to it. This causes a lot of issues. Even updates. That's my policy update. What are the consequences if you are signing me on a flat premium for those 7 years, and then another category of you updating my premium every single year? What will be the consequences on my withdrawal? What will be the inflationary issues? Let's take time to ask these questions. Don't just sign up on it because they are what your bankers. Because when it's time for claim, you may go back to Nigerian insurance company to make your claims. So kindly pay attention to that for me. Finally, we'll be looking at one channel or distribution brokers. With brokers often, we tend to have the perception that, hey, when I get to buy from the brokers, I just have to just sign on a policy. And when it happens, I will have brokers take my things for me no matter what. Yes, brokers are very good channels to buy your policies from. In fact, for all insurance companies, we may have certain brokers who are selling their policy, and they are also doing a very good job as well. But one thing you need to pay attention to is the ability for an insurance company to sustain a business into the unforeseeable future. It's not the ability to sell policies, but rather the ability to pay claims whenever it comes up. So that insurance company is also concerned with your client. They don't have delight in dealing your claims, because when they pay your claims, you would trust them to buy again, or you would even give them a solid referral to a working colleague, to a family person, or to a friend. So every company is right and paying them that is acting to your advantage, right? So it's very good to buy through the broker channel. It's not a bad idea at all, but don't have the perception that even if I don't pay attention to the details, or I just let the broker sign me on something, when there is a claim, no matter what, the brokers will fight to make sure they know. Make sure when you are buying, still sit them down. When they get to your office or they come to you, they can get to explain that stands very well to you. If they are not exercising mastery on the terms, then there is a question mark. Brokers are doing very well in the industry, but it may depend on the person you are dealing with. So whoever you are dealing with, try to remember that at least before I get to sign, let me get to understand what I'm buying well. Is this a risk or an endowment? If it's an endowment, what are the terms? If it's a risk policy, what are the conditions that it comes with? I would like to find out what are the given insurance covers of it. Are there any cashbacks? Are there any bonuses to be paid? Are there any processes I pass through when I'm making my claims? What are the documents you need when I'm coming to make my claim? Find out when I default for some time, I still bring in my premiums. What happens to the policy? When I want to cancel the point, will be due to any reason. What happens? Take time and walk through this. And trust me, paying attention to this will go very far to ensure your claims that you are always in anticipation of it going smoothly will be a perfect one at the end of the day. Thank you for joining me on this episode. Ensure to leave the comments down there. Do you have an observation on the product you bought? That things didn't really go well? Drop it in comment there. We'll be having a discussive session as we move along. Catch you on my next video. This is Chicken Justin right here. Be looking forward to your life. See you.
Go.